The big question in crypto and traditional markets is, when can we define this either as a bear market rally or what we just saw was a reversal? And you can see this both in, if you follow the traditional market news, that question is in play. Some people think, hey, these indicators are firing off, the low was in June. And then some folks are saying, hey, this is still defining it as a bear market rally. If you scan across crypto Twitter, you're going to see very similar things. I'm starting to see more macro bulls come out. Not people saying, hey, we're 10% candles, every day. I'm not seeing that. But a lot of folks saying that the next bull cycle is now beginning and we have seen a low. And then a lot of folks are saying another leg down. It's not quite even split, but those voices are starting to emerge. You're going to see it. And I mean, for good reason. This is a very important juncture, both for traditional, for U.S. finance, I guess, traditional finance and crypto. Is this a bear market rally, or was what we saw a reversal? And we're going to not be able to answer those questions in this live chat necessarily. But we're going to take a look at what will you see and what can you expect in either case, which I've already covered a few times, so we'll keep this short. So let's go get some Bitcoin. All right. One thing that I have been thinking about, kind of like price thoughts, TA thoughts. Almost if you do a sport like golf, you have thoughts when you're about ready to swing or whatever, swing thoughts. But my thoughts on TA here is for this is Bitcoin that you're seeing. Bitcoin, for any moves to the upside, I'm not using it in my TA for overall, like what is crypto going to be doing. But for downside movement, I think Bitcoin can drag Ethereum down and crypto down. But Bitcoin is not going to drive crypto up. Am I making sense on that? So I'm only looking at breakage points to the downside for Bitcoin, and I'm not expecting anything fancy, or I'm not trying to set any levels. Ooh, breakout on Bitcoin, this and that. I don't think it's really that relevant because it's going to be Ethereum that's going to lead that. Am I making sense? So I'll cover Ethereum here a little bit later. But to try to define the breakdown points for Bitcoin and where it would go should it cross those levels is if you look left here, out of all this activity from the original big drop down, you have this first, I guess you might call it first wick right there. Let me make a horizontal. That is a horizontal that price is kind of playing with right now. And that is the wick from June 14th. And it is around this price point right here. From a horizontal perspective, that is not a bad breakdown point because, let's assume that you don't have a trading channel set up like mine. It's going to allow you to essentially have the same trigger. If this area is broken, 23,275 is broken, you're gonna flood down about $1,000, and it should be rather swift. Not all in 1 hour. You could so price could easily. Let me go down to like the 15-minute chart. I would assume price would want to kind of putter around there and then come back up, use it as resistance, and then float down to that level. So after the breakage, you could have 2 days until the stronger move down. So I don't want anybody to, if you're going to use that horizontal there as a breakdown point, or if you've taken time to set up your trading channels like mine, but it's going to be roughly the same trigger. I don't know if I would expect a full-on breakage or violent volatility spike to the downside until it's been used as resistance, and that could take a couple of days. So hopefully, what I'm saying here for Bitcoin, here's the two main things is, and again, at least 2 days. So that would be over the weekend, and then you'd have to wait for market open on Monday. So it'd probably be more like 4 days at this point since it hasn't quite broken below. So you'd be looking at Monday, Tuesday until you'd see this really accelerate down if that level that I just gave you is broken. But the two main things for, I guess, Bitcoin analysis is this. Upside movement, it's not the heartbeat of crypto right now. So I breakout points to the upside, I almost think it's worthless in terms of the market leader. Breakdown point, it could totally turn the page on the chapter of what crypto is in right now. So if breakdown point, I would be using Bitcoin, perhaps in tandem with Ethereum, right? But if you're bullish or you think that things are taking another leg up, Ethereum's what you want to look at for key levels. If Bitcoin does break below this level and starts dragging crypto down, it would align with waiting till next week for market open Monday, to market open of traditional markets, to start accelerating down, and perhaps over the weekend using that as resistance. So let's say this breaks below at Friday or Saturday, Sunday-ish, and early in the morning on Monday, it would be using this ascending point of control or this horizontal as resistance, and then perhaps a spike up on Monday, and then a head down with markets on Monday and or Tuesday. So it could take actually like 3 to 4 days after it breaks below there. So the timing on the trigger and what triggers to use and not use on Bitcoin is pretty much the only thing that I'm going to throw at you today, because nothing's happened and ETH is the market leader. So speak of the devil, I'm going to go move on to ETH now.